Hey, all dirty Distaggio back at you with a Castle Clash video, Death Knight. I'm just going to run here Monster N just because I'm not very familiar with this account. I do know that this Death Knight is currently at a 5 of 9 ability and 2 of 5 revitalize. So let's go ahead and put that on an altar next to Pumpkin Duke so it doesn't run out there and suicide. It's using this sort of Dirty Bastard variant base with these kind of funky openings here. And let's go ahead and try a Here Be Monsters. I'm just going to run N just because N's easy. I really just want to see the proc, watch for the proc real closely. And, you know, he's going to be competing procs with Vlad and Santa, so that's going to be maybe a bit of a problem. This account can clearly do Here Be Monster N. Again, I'm just wanting to do it because I want to really just watch the proc. That's really the only thing I'm looking for here. So I'm going to keep my eye on this Death Knight. He does look pretty awesome. I'm going to have to just say that right now. And you can see he's getting close here, but Vlad also just procced. And Death Knight, that's the thing. See how he's walking a lot of his time? He's walking. Can't float over that wall, so for him to get over here, he's got to like go all the way around. So that's definitely one of his downsides, is that he is a ground walker. So upsides, well, we'll see what the upsides are. Well, one upside is he's got Revive 5 naturally at any ability level, any hero level. It's got Revive 5, so he dies, he comes back, partial health, and you'll be able to, you know, get him going again. So that's one thing. So his big benefit is obviously his talent, that talent that starts coming with these heroes. So with Pixie came the talent Scatter, and with Santa Boom came the talent Self-Destruct. Self-implosion. He literally booms people and booms himself. And here comes a good Death Knight proc, and I don't think he's going to compete with other procs. So, and then right there, you saw the shield, but look, there's still all these. There were still all those troops there. So obviously he does not impact as many troops as a hero like Vlad Dracula, maybe even Thunder God for that matter. I think Thunder God hit more troops. So we might have to dig into the details on how many hits, but it does feel light. It's way less than Vlad, that's for sure. He's going to proc right here, but look, he's spending his whole time walking. Here he's going to hit, but I mean, most of that work had been done for him, and he did clear some of it. That is a pretty cool shielding icon there, where they can't get debuffed. None of those heroes can get debuffed. But look at this. Look at Thunder God. That's one of the biggest reasons not to use Thunder God in Here Be Monsters. He's got this problem with health, with keeping it. He's got real light hit points. He's not like one of these Heroes 2.0 that come loaded with 50,000 hit points, almost all of them. You know, even the Pixies. So luckily Thunder God there got a heal off, and Drew got a heal off, I should say, on Thunder God. And then here comes Death Knight. Yeah, never got that proc off because he does spend a lot of his time walking, unfortunately. But he does seem to hit heroes, and then it's sort of like, in a way, I don't know if you go with Cyclops or Painda. Cyclops is an arc, so Painda's probably the best because it does do a circular sort of proc there. Took out the dragon, and again, it was really hard to tell, so let's go ahead and definitely run him in. I'm going to go to my favorite dungeon, which is, I know this is silly, but it's Dungeon 2, third one in. I don't know why I like this dungeon, but I do, so I'm just going to drop him right here. So he swings, he's taking out one at a time, he doesn't float, he walks, and he took out 3 mobs there, just regular troops. I'm curious what happens when there's no troops around, like right now. He's going to take out this town hall, right? And then he, well, okay, his ability targets walls, that's number 1. That one was pretty obvious right there. But it also took out troops, but look, it missed that one troop right there. So the area of effect is definitely very small. So that's probably the first observation, meaning it doesn't extend much beyond the ring, the visual ring here of these walls. See, like it didn't even hit these walls, and he was standing right here. So the center of that proc was this building, and so it's got like a maybe like a 5 or 6 block, 7. Okay, that one looked a little bit bigger, but maybe about a 7 block. I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 7, I'd say, in terms of the width of the circle. Let's see if we can maybe catch it one. Yeah, see, it only goes out about 5, I would say, maybe 6. But It definitely looks cool. It's nice that he's got the Revive 5. It appears to do a lot of damage. Sometimes dungeons don't always flash damage there. But, I mean, we really got to run it with Pumpkin Duke now, so let me do that real quick here. Here, let me get some gems here, because I keep spending them all. 64,000 might. Very nice, very nice. I'm going to switch this out for Thunder God. And I'm also going to grab... It's sort of like, it's getting real hard to pick good heroes, because normally the heroes I use for raiding are... I'll just show you. It's Spirit Mage, Minotaur, Pumpkin Duke, Cupid, Druid, and then Santa Boom right here. So it's basically this team that you see right here is my typical raiding team. However, I then substitute in, I guess instead of Death Knight, I would have, oh, what did I just say? I would have, is it Spirit Mage? Cupid. So it's sort of like, the nice thing about Cupid is it builds up all this attack along with Druid's attack buff. So all these attack/damage buffs are going to stack up the Minotaur procs and clears the whole base. So that's the theory on why I picked that combination for when you raid. Alright, let's go ahead and do some raids here. Let me grab Magic. And what I typically do on raids, everyone's pretty much using this base. I drop everyone over here. And then I would frenzy them, drop the flag, I get Ice Storm ready, especially if you see Vlad Dracula. Especially, always do it. And you know, no one needs gold anymore, but you know what? It gets really annoying to have to gem revive when that Vlad procs and your whole team dies instantly because he's all stacked up and crazy stimmed up. So definitely, if you see Vlad, you are going to want to do that. Now, it's kind of hard to see this because I'm clearing so fast, so... Now, let's go ahead and try him in... Let's just pick a dungeon. Let's go with 15 shard dungeon. That's about the right hero level. Let's see how these two do. No healers, but they have a ton of hit points, so they should be okay. Boom! See, it's got that real tight range. So, it's kind of interesting to analyze this hero because... Let's see how it does here against these griffins, dirty birds. See that? See how many are still up? So, this is pretty interesting. He's not as OP as Santa or Vlad, that is for sure. He is a ground walker, which means I would probably pick Pixie more often. And I'm not a very huge fan of Pixie, but I am starting to like Pixie more and more as I continue to play Pixie and use her in Here Be Monsters for her range, unlimited range heal. That's, in my opinion, the best part of her. It's pretty interesting. So he doesn't heal himself like Vlad. He does less damage in total than Vlad, even though his damage percent is higher, simply because he seems to impact less targets. Whereas a Vlad proc right here would have cleared all those, everything, every monster right there, every mob, every troop, every hero would be gone for sure, without a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. And Minotaur obviously can unlimited range clearing all these ground buildings. And he's a ground walker. Both these two are ground walkers. Obviously, they were walking super slowly around the whole place. And it's an interesting one. It's an interesting hero. He's probably not a hero that if I didn't have, which by the way I don't have him, that's why I'm on Dixie's account. If I did not have this hero, I wouldn't feel obligated to roll gems to try to get it. I think is kind of long story short. Now, I haven't played with it a lot. I'm only playing with 5 and 9 right here. But he just, Santa Boom alters the whole game. I mean, When you have Santa Boom, you level that sucker as fast as possible to 7 of 9 or higher. Same with Vlad. You definitely do that. Same with Pumpkin Duke. I mean, those 3 heroes are pivotal. They completely change the game, in my opinion. They changed the balance of the game. They're absolutely crucial, which is why I'm so happy to finally get Vlad, and you'll see that video of me getting Vlad here very soon if you haven't already. And so, in other words, he definitely has really awesome artwork. He looks very cool. The revive is awesome. If you get this hero, it's very good. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good. He's going to be good in the lower level Here monsters. He's going to be good up to Here monster N. Okay, he's going to help you get through all those. Like, so if you didn't have, you didn't have a Santa Boom or you didn't have a Vlad, he's going to definitely help you pass and clear waves. It's not going to help you. He's not going to help you as much as is sort of having Vlad, Dracula, or Santa. So you would never want to run a Here monster and choose this new hero over Santa or Vlad, Dracula. What might be an interesting comparison is to Immortep. Because in a way, if you think so, Immortep's ability does that circling around him as he walks, and it kind of follows them. It's sort of like Death Knight's too, where it's sort of a proximity ability. And whereas like a Pixie and a Spirit Mage, they just shoot and it goes wherever. So that's kind of my initial impressions, and I mean, definitely a cool concept and whatnot. But in most games, a Death Knight heals himself too, so it would have been helpful. In running those heavy monsters, I could see he was always at really low health right away. He runs out there, he kind of walks kind of slow, and he doesn't heal himself. So normally in other games like World of Warcraft, Death Knights have the ability to heal themselves. So it's not for as much as they attack for. So it would have been nice if this deals this attack to nearest foe, but dealt half of that as a heal to himself or to nearby allies or something. So I mean, is his immunity granting ability good? I mean, it's not really. I mean, yeah, it protects you against like an Ares proc or something, but so that just limits it to a couple game modes. It limits the use. If that's what makes him so good, then that limits his usefulness to arena and battle altars, which if you don't have Ares, you're dead in the water anyways. Like me, I don't have Ares, and it's very hard for me to beat accounts with Ares, especially if they put Ares in the back row. So if you have Ares, put him in the back row, by the way, because if you put him in the front row, people put Pixie on him, and Pixie just uses her Scatter 5 ability and keeps that energy down. So this is an interesting hero. It's definitely a cool one. I do like it, and I do want it. But I mean, with a cooldown of 7 seconds, and some of the limited nature of the proc and the radius of the circle, those are just a couple of things that make me tell you confidently that you do not have to go out of your way, from what I've seen so far on other videos as well, of a 7 and 9 Death Knight. I wouldn't go out of your way. Now, if you don't have Pumpkin Duke and you don't have Cupid, you should always roll all excess gems, okay? And even Cupid's getting a little less useful now, but Cupid is very useful for getting you to the end game. He's not always used in every game mode, but I will say Pumpkin Duke and Cupid, those two heroes, if you don't have them, you gotta roll. The next tier of heroes that you need to roll for if you don't have them is Santa Boom and Vlad Dracula. Once you get those 4 heroes and purchase some of the obvious, ones like, use your Druid card and whatnot if you don't have one in your real new account. But those 4 heroes are absolutely game changers. Highest priority heroes, bar none. Pumpkin Duke, Cupid, Vlad Dracula, Santa Boom. And a hero like this is more of a situational hero. It's going to be good in some game modes. It's sort of like Pixie. Although I'm still, like I mentioned earlier, still starting to like Pixie a little bit more. So those are my thoughts, guys. As always, keep it dirty and dirty up.